What's up? I got my CJ Pony Parts GT350, Shelby GT350, Shelby GT350 shift knob. Here's the order. It's like 85 bucks when it came down to it. But it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit because, well, it's not supposed to, and they say that in the how-to. All right, so I took the regular one off as instructed by CJ Pony Parts. Boom, you know, just turned it off, turned the knob off. Put this knob on. All right, and they say go down all the way. So I'll show you go down all the way. Until it stops, okay? Now, where it stops here, it feels good. It's like it's a little bit higher, it's a little bit more raised than this one, which I don't like because I like it to sit down a little bit lower, but this knob gives you a better feel for not handling over fist like this, but do it from the side, and I prefer that because you can just jam it into gear. But here's the deal. Reverse lockout doesn't work, and they tell you that in the CJ Pony Parts video. So you got to back it off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's different probably for everybody. Mine's 5 in order to get it in reverse lockout. But here's the thing, it raises it up 1/4 inch. Got interrupted there by the long guy. All right, so you got to pull this off about 5 turns in order to get it to engage the reverse lockout. It raises it up 1/4 inch, and I don't like that. I'd rather it to be all the way down. And the second thing that I don't like is I got to take this blue Loctite and I got to Loctite the threads. And I did that, but blue Loctite, if anybody's used it extensively, for me, maybe it's just a crappy little bottle of it I have, but I've used a lot of different bottles of Loctite, and it doesn't hold the kind of way that I'm going to be shifting this thing, man. I'm going to be jamming it into gear, and it's going to bust loose, and I'm going to turn this thing off. So, and I already did try to let it sit for 24 hours and cure and everything, and I was shifting, and poop, it came right off. So, what I'm going to do, and I haven't found this on the internet anywhere, is if you look at the lockout collar, there's quite a bit of space with the plastics of it that are able to be shaved down. So I'm going to take my Dremel tool out and shave this thing down about a little bit more than 1/4 inch, and see if I can get the Shelby shift knob to go all the way down, to seat all the way down, and still get the reverse lockout collar to come up. Okay, what you're going to need for this install is a Dremel tool, some Dremel tool cutting bits, a shop towel, a cup of coffee. Okay, so I got to tighten all the way down. I went ahead and made a mark here, hold it up to where my reverse lockout was accessible, made another mark, and I'm going to cut 1/4 inch off according to this mark. I'm just going to take this space between these two lines and cut from the top down. It's basically the same space between the top and the first line and the first line to the second line, so it's the same space. So I'm just going to cut from here to that line. Okay, so far it's a little rough around the edges here, but I'll get that cleaned up, and let's give it a shot real quick. Not quite there yet. Alright, so now I got it shaved down to a point where, and I'll clean this up, but shift knob, this part of the shift knob, the top of the lockout collar, does not touch the inside bottom of the shift knob. I'll show you what I'm talking about. It doesn't touch that and stop it from going into reverse. So there is something that I think will keep it still from going in reverse. Alright, so it's all the way down, and I'm pulling up, and nope, no reverse, because the bottom part of the lockout is stopped by the bottom part of the shift knob. So I'll turn it one full rotation. Alright, cool. It works. One full rotation instead of the 5, it's 1. So what are the benefits of that? I'm still going to have to Loctite it on there with something, and the benefits are it's not, the shift knob itself is not raised up too high. What is it, like not even a 1/4 of an inch difference? So, but it's still a little bit better to me. I put the stock one back on just to see if there's a gap. There is a gap. So if you want to put the stock shifter back on there, there is going to be space there. So I have it tightened down all the way. Pretty good. So took some of this white thread tape and threaded up the bottom part of the threads with this white thread tape and made it real thick on there, so when it got down to the bottom part, it's on there pretty good. So I'm not gonna have to worry about Loctite. Hopefully you'll see how long that lasts. But, so does cutting the lockout collar help with the GT350 knob to go in reverse? No, don't cut it. Still gives you a little bit more, still puts this down a little bit more. So I mean, if you want that, that's cool, and I do. I mean, I prefer it be down a little bit, so that'll work. And I'm never gonna put the stocker one back on, so it's an improvement to me. Overall, the GT350 shift knob it works good. I wish it fit better. It is an OEM part that CJ Pony Parts puts out, and then they take the threads and they rethread it, and so it fits the transmission on the GT. It's not the Tremec out of the Shelby. So cutting down the collar about a 1/4 of an inch allows you to not have to spin the shifter knob like 4 or 5 rotations away from the lockout collar. You can just do it one, and you put some thread locker on there. For me, it's the white tape thread locker, whatever that's called. It keeps it on there firm, and keeps it a little bit lower instead of being, you know, raised up another 1/4 of an inch because it's unthreaded so high. It's a good feel. Is it worth 90 bucks? I don't know. Looks good with the Shelby wheel.